Good morning, everybody, and Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad and believers in Yeshua Messiah. Welcome to Hidden Manna. I'm Pastor Dave Sain, Senior Shepherd here at Living Manna. I want to thank you for spending your Sabbath morning with us. I hope that the day is going well for you wherever you happen to be. And to start off your day, we're just going to have a conversation about Father, talk about the things of Yah. And of course, as a conversation, I do this with my dear brother Max. Hey, man, good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning, buddy. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, man.
Nice hoodie there.
Yeah, you like that? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Definitely hoodie weather out.
Oh, it's hoodie weather.
Degrees.
Oh, I think it's 30 something here, 30, maybe 30-ish around there. So, but listen, we can't keep up with you guys.
After a certain degree, it doesn't matter. Cold is cold.
Yeah. Kara was telling me this morning she didn't want to take the dog out because it was like 32 degrees or 31 degrees. I was like, well, hon, that's spring in Alaska.
I know.
She's like, this ain't Alaska.
Uh-huh.
She's
it's
right.
The time of the year when you don't want to get out of bed in the morning because you stick your arm out of the blanket.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope.
True. Yeah, I don't know how many winters I got in my body, but we'll see.
Oh, I know. I believe that. It's tempting to go down south, but
yeah, it is. I don't know about Florida. I think Florida is just too hot.
Yeah, and it's too populated right now. It's the second New York, just more conservative.
Yeah. Plus,
like
it's all New Yorkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's from Florida. Everybody's from New York, or most people anyway.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen. Before we get started, everybody, I just want to, and I think somebody already put it up there, just to keep Sister Hoppy and Mike in prayer. We sent out a notification last night. You know, they're going through, the most difficult time in life. And so keep them in prayer. We'd appreciate that. And of course, Maggie and her family, they just suffered, excuse me. They just suffered a really tough loss in their family as well. So our hearts go out to them, and we're still lifting up Sister Stephanie and praying for Father's healing for her. So a whole bunch of stuff going on down here in the Bronx. So that we appreciate your prayers, guys. Keep them in prayer. But this morning, I thought, now I like watching, news programs and, conservative commentary. I watch a whole bunch of different things. I try to keep up with, what's going on. I think that's important. I know there's not a whole lot we can do about it. What's going to go on is going to go on. But I think it is important to keep up to date, to understand what's going on, to be able to then relate that in a spiritual sense as you talk to people and as you shepherd. But I don't know if you've ever come across the Babylon Bee.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of their stuff. It's funny.
I love the Babylon Bee, and it's because of course they are funny. Let me just click this here. Yeah, they are funny. If you guys haven't seen the Babylon Bee is sort of a satire site, very sarcastic. In
conservative leaning, right?
Yeah, conservative leaning. But what they do is they'll take a real issue, something that's really going on, and then make fun of it, and then use satire to portray a real truth, even though it may be funny. They're portraying a real truth, and some of their stuff is hilarious. I know that they've been taken down by YouTube multiple times, and
put on what do you call the suspension?
Yeah, put on suspension.
Just in case, I think I'm frozen in the photo. Can you hear me live though?
Oh no, we can hear you live. Let me see if I can.
Good thing I wasn't like doing something stupid in the photo.
No, at least it's a good picture that you froze on.
I could fall asleep now, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess for you to freeze like that, I'm assuming it's let me see if I can click off of that. I don't know if it's on our end or it's probably.
Well, if they can hear me, it's got to be something from what do you call it?
Skype. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much I can do about
That's
it.
all
on
right.
this
I
end.
wouldn't even mess with it because
All
I
right.
don't want to.
So you're gonna be like,
as long as you can hear me.
It's gonna be like one of those interviews on TV,
You gotta have
right?
Matt edit on the bottom, put not live photo.
But you're right. At least it's a good picture that it froze on.
I know, right?
It's a good
My
picture.
mouth wasn't wide open, like one eye closed.
I've gotten a couple of those pictures for sure. For
But I hate
sure.
about the thumbnails. You ever see, they pick a thumbnail on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, so the Babylon Bee does, all this kind of funny political, but it's not just political. It's on every phase of life. And like I said, they've been banned because in our culture, you're not allowed to call out truth anymore. And we're going to deal with some of that as well a little bit today. But I thought we'd start off with a video. It's a satire from the Babylon Bee, and it's called Light. It's Introducing Christianity Light. And it's a great satire because what it's saying is true. This is how, we're not just talking about people that are walking in Torah, how we would see modern Christendom. This is how people see modern Christendom.
Yep.
And so I thought you guys would appreciate this. We got two different videos. We're going to watch that video, and then we're going to watch another short video. Not right after, but we have two videos to kind of look at for today. But so here's the first one, guys. Check this out. This is the Babylon Bee, and you know what? I don't know if that actually didn't. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can play the video.
You still get, maybe because of the issue with me freezing there, or?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess it's, you want to, try to take me off of there? And
No, I don't want to go through all of that.
There we go.
Hey,
right. It's just a little slow.
We got you up there, but
It's like I'm in a kung fu movie.
let me see if I can get this video back up, because somehow, and I don't know how, I lost the video. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Give me just a second here.
What's up? Let's see who's on. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Yeah, I just saw Brother Dave. Brother Dave.
Oh yeah, he's the last one. And thank you, Sister Paula. Same for you.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
I don't know why that's doing that.
There's Myrna. Shabbat shalom.
All right. Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, guys. Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's on there. All right. I think I got it now. And let me see if I can go to full screen. I don't know what happens every time I click through that. That's how I lose it. And I think I lose you too. Oh yeah. Man.
Okay.
That would stink. And I guess I could play it like this.
You see, I'm can anyone see it on live? What do you because I have my phone on, and all I still see is the countdown numbers on the screen.
All right, I'll just keep it on this screen. It's not. Maybe we'll just limit it to this one video then. It's obviously not centered, but hopefully you guys can see it and hear it. Let's see if we can check this out. This is called "Introducing Christianity Light" from the Babylon Bee. You can still get the gist of this, even if we watch it like this.
Yeah, you can see it.
Wait,
I just rebooted my phone. Yeah, you can see it.
Wait, our technical advisor has come in. Yeah, every time every time you enlarge that, it'll freeze them out. And the screen goes black. Yeah, so let's just watch it like that. You guys can still hear me, I hope. Give me a shout out.
I can hear.
Okay, if you can hear me.
If you can hear PD, give a quick thumbs up on the chat.
All right, let's just play it like that. Let's just play it like that.
You with the Bible. Me? Yeah, you. Are you tired of all that God stuff? Do you want Christianity to be easier, more exciting, and less demanding on your free time?
Boy, do I.
Then why don't you throw out that old lame Christianity classic and try the very new Christianity Light?
Whoa! Wow! This is totes bussin', yo!
Christianity Light uses all the same terms as Christianity Classic, but without all that unwanted salvation from your sins and wrath of God stuff. Now you can be a Christian without everyone thinking you're a total square.
You know, I used to think you were a total square. Turns out you're not like one of those Christians who follows the Bible, bro. You're pretty cool.
All up in the club! I'm drinking alcohol.
Alcohol!
I'm saying swear words.
All right! Woo! Pro choice!
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey! What's up, bro?
Where the girls at?
You're like, where are the...
Alcohol!
Alcohol! Woo!
And best of all, with Christianity Light, you don't even have to go to church.
Now I can have Christianity and my sin too. Thanks, Christianity Light. I'm watching Game of Thrones, and I ain't watching it on VidAngel.
Christianity Light has been endorsed by Joel Osteen, Rob Bell, Jen Hatmaker, Rachel Hollis, Oprah Winfrey, Richard Rohr, and Satan. It's the only version of Christianity with none of the guilt and judgment, but with the same great spiritual feelings. Side effects may include a sharp increase in sin, a hole in your heart you can't seem to fill, demon worship, earth worship, self-worship, diarrhea, trust in the Enneagram, drug use, supporting the murder of babies, deconstructing your faith, deconversion, posting the black square on IG, eventual atheism, agnosticism, anxiety, nihilism, judgment, Buddhism, eternal suffering, severe injury, and second death. Christianity Light is not responsible for those who suffer everlasting damnation. Check with your pastor to see if Christianity Light is right for you.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy, man.
Oh man. That what a
Slap in the face to.
yeah, I mean, well done. And again,
Yeah.
guys, this is not a religious video, right? This is not, some pro Hebrew roots, people doing something or any other religion out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is from a secular group and a conservative group.
Perspective of what they see. Yeah.
Yeah, just and when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, right on the nail head.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice he threw in there pro-choice?
Oh,
Everything else,
yeah,
and-
the list like you get at the end of watching one of those commercials for some medication,
for a
where
pharmacy,
it tells you all the horrible things that could happen to you if you take this medication.
It'll get rid of your headache, but it'll risk
Oh, yeah.
cancer, heart attack.
Yeah, even those commercials get me too. So because sometimes you listen to what the side effects are, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, is the cure worse than the disease?
I know. Isn't that crazy? Just a side note too. In most other countries, those commercials are illegal. You can't, we can't walk into our doctor's office. Hey, I just saw this commercial for.
Yeah.
I want to try it out.
Yeah. Well, but when I saw this, and I saw this a while ago, and then I just recently came back to it, and I realized, man, what a great commentary. What a sad commentary. And obviously, I think this is information that we know. I mean, we're aware of. I've seen it. We've lived it. We've walked it. We've lived it. And it was kind of interesting because I had a brief conversation with someone this week about where they are. I guess they're a viewer that they've watched before, and one of the things is I'm not sure if it was a brother or a sister. I just know what their handle was that all they're surrounded by in their area are prosperity preachers, positive thinking preachers, faith preachers. What's that thing with the 7 mountains? And,
to conquer all the entertainment, whatever those are. Yeah,
I forgot what they're called, but and
what was it?
Something apostolic. Apostolic Reformation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the person said, that's all they get around them, and I guess one of the reasons, like, they're trying to watch us. They may not agree with us, or they look like they're seeking and they're trying to learn. But it was because of really what we're seeing in this video from the Babylon Bee. It's become something so watered down that this person was looking for something outside, and yet isn't that really the testimony of all of us at some point?
Exactly.
That is a testimony. But you see this, and the commercial it's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is accurate to what's going on in the modern religious culture, Christendom, and in the West. This isn't now. You look at this, you say, "Oh, this is really an American thing," and it is. There's no doubt. But America is, quote unquote, the biggest Christian nation. But it's not just America; it's the whole West. It's Christianity as a whole, from and it's basically Europe and here in the States. Those forms of Christianity, and there's dozens of them, right? I mean, there's how many denominations out there.
Oh yeah.
But it has become, I wouldn't say it has become. There was another video I was going to watch, but I don't want to mess with it with the way the videos are today. Did you freeze on me again, or are you just staying still? Oh, you're just staying still. I thought you froze again. There was another video we're going to watch, and it was one of these. I guess he's a Baptist preacher, a black gentleman. He's got the great beard. I forgot his name. I can't remember his name, but and then there's another guy in California, big church in California, and they're showing, or the person that put up this video was showing. This guy was saying, look at these people, they call out on God, and they're going to get, I think what the name of it is, instant regret. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's called Instant Regret. This is why you never mess with God. And so they're doing it from a Christian perspective. But what was neat in the video is, and I've seen this on so many different levels, but it showed about 6, 7, maybe 8 different clips from social media, from the regular mainstream media, from Hollywood, all of these different people just ripping apart Christianity, especially when it was the whole thing with the Roe v. Wade.
Oh yeah,
and that decision came out from the Supreme Court. I saw it all over the news. I saw MSNBC rip Christianity apart. And now we could say, yes, it's anti-God. There's no doubt about it that there's an anti-God spirit within our nation. That's for sure. But there's also, and I think I've said this before, that it really isn't about being against Christianity. It's about being against God. So ultimately, that's true. But I like to amend that statement that there really is an anti-Christian bias in our nation. And I saw it on MSNBC. I saw it on CNN. They were pushing this idea of Christian nationalism, that Christians want to take over the government and force their religion on everybody else, and that's take away your right to have an abortion. And it worked. You saw what just happened in the last election. That was a huge point for people.
Yeah.
And we have moved in our culture from what maybe was at one point a Judeo-Christian, a Bible-centered belief that was common as part of the American culture, to something so different.
Yeah, and I think that can just testify of how wicked and lawless we are becoming, because if the world can't tolerate Christendom, who already has a watered down belief system, you can see where they are, because I just watched a video the other day on YouTube, and they were showing like just professional athletes that would win something, like a boxer. It was a boxer and a gentleman on ESPN, and they literally started off, the typical, when you go to the award show, I want to thank, my Lord and Savior Jesus, and literally they were showing these compilations where all of a sudden, mysteriously, they lost the feed. Oh, I'm sorry, we lost them. We'll get back to that, and they would cut them off.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was ironic because, of course, we know, they're not living the truth, but like you said, it's a biblical aspect, because people like us get linked in with Christendom all the time, because all they see is that we follow Torah, and we have the testimony of our Messiah. So of course to them that's Christianity, you know.
Yeah. What did I do? I was going to try to put you saw that?
Great, there's one of those frozen.
It's over.
Oh, I got a stupid frozen picture there.
Oh, we got a frozen picture again. Man, we're having a tough time this morning.
But you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it is a war even on Christianity, which is amazing. Because and there was another one with what's his name, the guy, because he's been popping up all over because he defends Christmas even though he knows it's pagan and it's not the birth of Messiah. Kirk Cameron.
Oh yeah, didn't he just
do something, a reading or something, right?
A book? No, he wrote a children's book. That's what it was. Yeah. He wrote a children's book, and I'm having a tough time here for a second. Yeah, he wrote a children's book, and they won't allow the children's
like library
book.
Reading. Or
yeah,
something like that?
in the library, I guess it would be considered offensive.
But yet they let the transgender people come to the school libraries and read and dress in their attire and yeah.
All right, I don't know why. I was seeing if I could hopefully get that picture up, but I don't think I could do it. Let's see. Yeah, sorry guys. I was going to try to get that
proof
picture
that we're
up.
Live, right?
Oh yeah, this is the downside of going live for sure. Let's see if that makes a difference.
I think I'm unfrozen.
You're unfrozen, so that's good. But I'm still not getting. Okay, there goes our YouTube page up. Sorry guys, so sorry. But I wanted to show on one of these videos. It's exactly what you're saying. It's the people going up and taking the awards, and it's news people. It's Joe Rogan. It's and you hear them just not trash Christianity, but even even trash Father.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see what we can do here. If I can. Yeah, here's instant regret. Let's see if we can put this up.
Got it?
Yeah, let's see if we can put this up. Let's skip that ad.
A number of reasons.
Here we go.
Look at people's lives, and sometimes I look at people's lives and I watch them war with God.
I'm so tired of having nonstop conversations about what the Bible says. You live your life in the way that you interpret the Bible. Again, I don't care, but you don't get to take the Bible and tell me, well, the Bible says this in this chapter, in this verse. I don't care.
We see it all the time, don't we?
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
This is a fool's errand.
President of the United States can openly talk about God,
right.
and no one goes, what is God? What are you saying? Like, what are you saying? Do you think Jesus came back from the dead? What do you think? Do you think someone walked on water? Do you believe in a literal translation?
The number is down because we brought the number down. God did not do that. Fate did not do that. Destiny did not do that.
Now look, a lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. If it was up to him, Caesar Milan would be up here with that damn dog. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus, this award is my God now!
My mum only lied to me about one thing. She said there was a God, and but that's because when you're a working class mum, Jesus is like an unpaid babysitter.
Wow, crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah, I can't stand that one woman that you just I'm sorry.
Oh, with the red hair,
Kathy Griffin,
Griffin?
The redhead.
Yeah. But that's just some clips, man. I've seen them trashing it, Christianity, trashing God, the Bible. On like I said, CNN. I've seen it on definitely on MSNBC multiple times. And there's go ahead.
And as us as believers that are following truth, we have to realize that they're not saying Yeshua, they're saying Jesus, but they're comparing this to the God of the Bible. Yeah. So we have to realize that too. We have to just get past the part that they don't have it right. Of course they don't have it right. Most of the world doesn't have it right, but they're associated with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
No doubt.
So,
No doubt. Yeah. And now I heard this week, and just, checking out news and stuff, that Russia, Putin, they just passed a law in Russia. It was just signed into law, and it's their anti-LGBTQ advertising is not allowed within Russia, not on media, not on social media, because the way now, you look at the West and you see what has happened in the West, in the East, and really probably most of the world does not think the way the liberal West thinks. They are very culture centered. They're very ethnic centered. It's about their nations, it's about their people, it's about their customs, it's about their cultures. And I think that's one of the downsides, or I think one of the factors as to why we seem to be in the West, where we have, quote unquote, the openness to go ahead and worship, and yet we seem to be some of the most lawless cultures on the planet. And I think part of the reason, not all the reason, but part of the reason is because there really is no longer an American culture. We were a melting pot at one time, but there was a core set of values and principles that sort of bound America, together. And right now, the thing that binds America together is money. It's what can you have? What can you make? But you go to other countries like Russia, there is a culture there that has been there for over 1,000 years, and it is steeped within Christendom. They got the Russian Orthodox Church there, and it's steeped within Christendom. And this isn't an issue of Christian, like I said, as Torah believers, we're going to get lumped in with it no matter what. And it's the book. It's the same book. It's the same story. No matter how you twist it, it's the same story. But so they passed this law because they look at what's happening here in the West to Christendom, and as a product of what's happening to Christendom, the product of what's happening to the culture, and Russia views it as a fifth column. That enemy in the gates. That thing that they see tearing apart the Western culture, they don't want it in the Eastern culture. They don't want it in Russia. And that's not to say that obviously there aren't people that are gay and lesbian within Russia. Obviously there are, but they do not want to change their core cultural values. And there's probably a lot more countries that are like that. And who knows? You may even see more countries finally putting that that sort of law together.
Yeah, I mean, we see the biblical premise. That's why Yah didn't want Israel mixing with these other nations. Shlomo, look what happens when you have 300 wives and 700 concubines from all the nations, right? He bowed down to their gods. He did what they want, Yep. And that's what America's done. It's a great thing, like you said, to have that type of freedom, but then it also incorporates every belief system there is, and then you say to yourself, right? Because China, they worship the moon and all that, just like America. That we do sun god worship, but then on top of that, at least their government calls out and separates themselves from the whole bowing down to the LGBTQ and bowing down to the trend, all the wokeness, right?
Yeah, the whole idea of woke.
If I may, I just saw yesterday or Thursday an article with Mattel. Did you see that with the American Girl doll?
No, I didn't see that.
They're bowing down to the whole transgender thing, saying it's okay to, if you feel like you're not a woman, or if you're and the opposite, if you're a boy and you feel like a woman, then go that way. That it's up to you, and this is Mattel. We all know Disney's done it already, and Nickelodeon and all these children's channels. Which is done on purpose, right? The stuff that we would think 20 years ago are wholesome for our kids, Nickelodeon and Disney, it was the trap from the beginning, right? Slowly introduce it, and mom and dad won't even know because they throw you in front of the TV, and you got the guy with big ears and a mouse. How can it be bad to watch? You know?
Oh yeah, and you're right. It's the kids shows. It's not. It's definitely Disney. I mean, Disney has just gone off the rails. I think they just got rid of what's his name, and they're bringing back in Bob Iger because the guy that was there just
they realized this. The CEO,
because you know what, to them money talks, and I think they just lost like $100 million off the new video, the new thing that just came out, the first LGBTQ
they were even saying their the park sales
took
a tank.
So and why you think you could do that in Florida, well, maybe California, because I think where they were Disney was actively lobbying against the bill that Ron DeSantis was putting forward to protect kids. And really it's only to protect them from kindergarten to third grade, which
crazy
still to me is like, what are you doing? But even that was too much, the concept is you should be able to talk to children about sexuality and no, that's not, you shouldn't.
I even saw a gentleman who is a outward, homosexual, and he was on Fox. I think he was Tucker or one of the shows, and he was like, "Listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm a homosexual. Not me. This is the guy." And he said, but I agree. He goes, teachers should not be speaking anything about these things, what goes on in their personal life, in their home, or what they believe. They need to teach the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. That's it. Shut your mouth. That's what he said. And it was pretty amazing that we can agree with that part of it, But yeah, it's just crazy.
And you're right. It's targeted at our kids, but it's the whole culture. But it's certainly it's targeted at our children, and we are able, in the day in which we live, we are watching really the entire spiritual degradation of the Western culture, because it's not just here. It's in Europe too. I mean, there are certain countries in Europe that are pushing back on it as well, but it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And I really do believe, and I think there's a direct connection that can be made with the ineffectiveness, the watered down version of what starts off as the gospel, but has been watered down so much, that has been changed so much that it no longer resembles really the truth. And now just like the Babylon Bee put up there, it seems to be more about club. It seems to be more about group. Anybody can come in, and I know, and I know there's some people that get upset with this idea, because we've been trained to think. We've been told in the religious world, because you read John 3:16 and it says, for Yah so loved the world that he just wants everybody to come in, and that is true. The opportunity is there for everyone.
Yeah, he wished that none would perish.
Right, Father wishes that none would perish. Where's creation? Right? Why would he want his creation to perish? But evidently, there's more to this, right? There's more coming. There's a whole part of this story we haven't even really begun to wrap our minds about. We're talking about eternal life. We're talking about, that's big. That's just unimaginable. So there's more. There's more to come, and but what we're doing now is just so watered down. That would Father allow that that watered down version to be in the kingdom? There has to be. He's not looking for just every piece of fruit. He's looking for the good fruit. He's looking for more fruit. He's looking for much fruit. The master says every branch that's in him that doesn't bear fruit, he's going to purge. And I know people don't like to hear that kind of stuff, because oh, you're cutting people out. No, we're not cutting anybody out. We're just saying this there is a standard, and there is no standard anymore, or there hasn't been in a long time.
It causes so much confusion too. I mean, I don't know if this is just fitting because of the time that we're in right now in December, the winter solstice, but I know for a fact with my wife's family, who have no, Christian background or church background, they get super confused because they see Christendom uplifting this time of the year, right?
Yeah.
This is their holiday. Put Jesus back in Christmas or whatever, right? Get the Xmas out and put Jesus back in. And remember years ago, that's how we were. I would deliberately, if someone just said Happy Holidays, I'd be like, no, Merry Christmas. Put Christ back in. And it's confusing because they see, well, what do you mean? What are you doing? I mean, look at these are all Christians. Look at these churches. This is their time of the year, and the witness that they've that they portray that false light or that darkness, really it confuses people. And like you said, you can directly tie in what's going on in our country, because Christendom doesn't stand up for people, the amount of people that say that they're a believer, right, in Christendom, but yet no one fights for against abortion the way they should, or even in these states we see during the elections. How can conservative counties be that close in votes when you have thousands and thousands upon people saying that they believe in the God of the Bible, but they want to vote for their pocketbook over their, the moral issues and all those things, because they don't know what sin is. And without the Torah to call it out, right, what their transgressions are, they don't have a guilt. They don't have a belief system. Well, we tolerate it. We can't do nothing about it, so just tolerate it, And toleration becomes exception. When you start to tolerate it and say, okay, whatever, then you're accepting it.
Yeah, and it has come in drips and drabs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't just come in like a wave. This has been the direction of Christendom for a long time, and it starts off in Europe first, because you've got all the cathedrals and mainly Catholic Christianity. Of course, you had the Saxons. You got the Brits with the Church of England. So you do have the Protestant Catholic there, but it's a very traditional historical form of Christianity that ruled Europe. It literally ruled Europe for 1,1600 years. Those buildings now, those cathedrals, that they're museums now. They're nobody goes to those. Those aren't places for where people could possibly learn about who their God is. And Europe lost that. And I forgot what the stats are, but the stats are really, really low on young people actually wanting to know who God is within Europe. It's an antique religion. It's part of their historical culture, but it goes no further than that. Now we don't have all of that here, but we had the degradation of morality, because once it got to the West, our freedoms have, unfortunately, I know it sounds crazy, but our freedoms have really worked against us. And you're right. Once you compromise, when you say, well, it's okay as long as they're not doing it to me, it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. What the master says, a little leaven, it winds up leavening the whole lump. And right now we're looking at a culture where the entire lump has been leavened.
And you're talking about our friend Pam, right, down in Georgia, who's a teacher, has said the same thing. Even in her school system, these kids have not even the knowledge of Christian, backgrounds, scripture, Bible stories, just no knowledge of it. And so you would say to yourself, if we were back in Christendom, are you doing a good job that this generation, and you're talking about the South, which we all know has a lot more biblical freedom than up in Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, where we always would associate those areas as, oh, that's New York or California. Their morals are horrible anyway. But down south, the Bible Belt, and these are kids who don't even have any knowledge of those things.
I know. Sister Pamela sees that. I know. Sister Joanna sees that within the schools, educational system, and Sister Karen sees it too. When we do have kids that come to children's church, many of them have no idea. I mean, the only time they're hearing some real biblical truth is they're at children's church. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, way back when, brother, when we were at Shirley, and they used to go out and pick up all the kids on the weekend to bring them to Sunday school. It'd be like 50, 60, 70 kids. We'd bus them all in.
We had a couple of buses, right?
Yeah, we had buses. We were busing them all in. And you know, it's sad, but it was true. It was more of a babysitting service for families because none of the families came. They just wanted to.
And think about it, why wouldn't you send your kid? The church, Shirley was an affluent church, so they fed them lunch. They had food, right? Yeah. The kids were, watched a video,
and
and ate.
if it teaches them truth, I got no problem with that. But it that was the culture. Just send them off, let them go. And now it's just let them watch YouTube, let them watch TikTok, let them let them watch TV, and so. How much time in a week that a child gets bombarded with all of this other information, even if they go to some sort of fellowship or congregation on the weekend? What is it, an hour, 2 hours, if that? If we're not doing it at home, if the parents aren't doing it, if the parents don't get it, if the parents don't teach it, which honestly, that is really the standard. Instead of sort of shifting it off to a congregation or shifting it off to a denomination for the spiritual education of our children, what the scripture tells us right in the Shema is that it's our responsibility.
Yeah,
right?
amen.
It's mom and dad's responsibility. You believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You've got him on your forehead. You've got him on your hand. Well, when you wake up in the morning, teach your children.
Yeah, don't count it out, man. I tell you, not every Friday night, but we try to, even with Josiah, everyone knows my son is 2.5, and sometimes we'll listen to Will Spires. He does the Torah portion audibly, so you can just listen to him. And last night he went over, Jacob and Esau, and how Jacob goes into Sukkot, so as soon as he said, after remember when they met up and Jacob splits up his family to protect him from, he knew Esau, he didn't know what his intent was. So, and then Jacob goes to Sukkot, and then he wrestles with the angel, right? But Josiah, when he heard, he's off in the dining room playing with his monster trucks, and all of a sudden he hears, Sukkot! It starts running around the house going, Sukkot! Sukkot! So just even when you don't think, they're listening, like you said, that time to invest, let them just hear it. That's why we do it. We all know these scriptures, and we've done them a million times. But how refreshing is that just to hear it and to go through those things again, right? To like you said, to have Yah's word on our forehead, on our hands. Let it be in your thoughts. Let it be what you constantly think about during the day, right? We already have enough worries to think about. How much more should we be, trying to just meditate on Yah's word and prayer? But you're right. Our kids are, they focus, they go to school. If they're not homeschooled, they still got to go through school, right? Then they get that. And then they get bombarded because then they want that free time where you let them watch a couple of shows. But then, like you said, how much time is in Yah's word or them hearing truth? It's very minimal. So I think it's our responsibility. That's a hit on the parents. It's our job to make sure that they're getting that time in. But,
yeah, Father does love the world. There's no doubt. Father loves his creation, and he has given us every opportunity, everything has pointed to the Son. The Son has come, a sacrifice has been given, but he's not going to force any of us to walk in it. It's got to be us. It's got to be our desire, and the other thing that I really thought was so true from that Babylon Bee video is there was a point in the video where he says, and now you don't even have to go to church, right? And the guy's sitting on the couch and he's using the remote control, and that is definitely something that has popped up since COVID, right?
Oh,
Since COVID first came on the scene, what is it now, 3 years ago? See, and it's sort of a double-edged sword because obviously we're talking to people right now, we're hanging out, having a conversation, and there are people who are watching from home, and that's a cool thing. But I think what happened was so many people we were home, we were locked in our homes, right? We were quarantining, got used to it, got used to not having to show up, not really having a responsibility, not going out and and doing your own. And listen, the fellowship is important. It really is. Yes, Father can teach you. Yes, you can learn, but there is there's an element of being together with a shepherd and people that Father has his Spirit upon, that you can be together and be part of each other's lives. And there's something to that, which is one of the reasons why I think in Hebrews it tells us, do not forsake the gathering together of one another, especially as you see the day coming. And that's kind of what we're talking about. The day is coming. The day is coming. What we are watching on a grand scale, and this is sort of a plug-in for tomorrow's message, what we are watching on a grand scale is what Messiah describes for us in Matthew 24 of what the days will be like before his coming, because he uses the story of Sodom and he uses the story of Noah. And obviously we're going to talk about Noah tomorrow, but ultimately, what's the story of both of those? The ethic of both of those stories is compromise, is watered down, is we don't care. We're just going to go ahead. We're going to live our lives the way we want to live our lives, and there was a righteous few in the midst of all of the stuff that was going on, and I don't know how many people there were in Noah's day, but I don't know. You could probably do the math. Over 1,000 years, how many people could there be? Lots. But now, here we are today on a much grander scale, and the story is being played out again. And there's going to be another Noah story again, because that's what he's telling us in Matthew 24. It's going to be like Noah. It's going to be like Lot. Right. And it says Lot was grieved in his heart. He was grieved in his heart for all of the unrighteousness, the laws that had been passed, the culture that he was living in. And, the moral of the ethic of the story in that one, too, is that it affected his children.
Yeah.
It did. It affected his kids.
I wanted to just add to my mind was just racing through when we were talking about people that started to stay home, during the pandemic, and they couldn't go to church. And for some, that was a good thing, right? Because a lot of people who truly love Father and wanted to really know truth are the ones who started to see other things online and start to see people, that teach truth, like, LMC and stuff like that. If you hear a lot of testimonies over the past 2 or 3 years, that's what happened. They stopped going to their church on Sunday. They were kind of fed up with what was going on already. And during that time, had time to just hit the scripture themselves, right, to read stuff that wasn't being read on Sunday church, and then start to question, like, wow, I never heard this. I never saw this before. So that part was good, right? A lot of people did get a plus, but, what was said is those other people that are still in Christendom, or their eyes have that veil, have saw the hypocrisy, saw there was no difference in their walk, in their life by going to a church on Sunday and learning those things. And so what was the difference? You'd rather sleep in, watch some NASCAR or football, and have that time with your buddy?
and watch the video, the live stream, whatever your fellowship was, a couple hours later, or be able to sit in your pajamas and, click it on when you want.
Sweats and just chill out, eating nachos and
so so it's a double-edged sword. There was definitely some, like you said, there was some benefit to it, I'm sure, but there's, and I know I've talked to other leaders and stuff, and they're all hurting. People just haven't come back. Of course, they measure it in finance and stuff like that, but souls, they just haven't come back, and I get it, because listen, our whole culture is, and even if it's a video, it's got to be a quick video, right? Because and if you're gonna, studies are good. It's good that we have this medium, that we could use it and we could put it out there. But what winds up happening is a whole big different scenario of listening to a study, at your house and actually being part of the study. Of course, it's all down to the hunger in your own heart, but it's real easy to all of a sudden put it on mute and then go do a couple of other things while the video's still running. You're not watching it. You're not learning. And if it's not within 15 minutes, then we get bored of it and we go on to the next thing. And so it really is a double-edged sword. And our culture wants quick things.
I can testify sometimes even on some of your Wednesdays, it feels like it was a 20-minute half hour. You're like, you done already? All of a sudden 9 o'clock comes, quick, and then, there's times when people, you're tired, right? And it's an hour and a half, you feel it, but that's that human aspect. But you can't, to find yourself approved, you got to study God's word. And it's not a drive-through. Like you said, it's not a drive-through message. You really, because how many times going over again? Torah portions, of course, we're not saying you always have to do them. They're great to learn. But every time you hear it or read it, what do? You always find a new nugget. You're always finding something new, right? And so I think it's really important to not want a 10-minute video, because there's times for those things, right? There's certain things that just need a 10-minute video. Come on, your morning manners are perfect, 3 to 4 minutes in the morning just to get your day going and get you thinking. Because that's what you want, ultimately, is to have people have their own devotion time, their own relationship. But it's nice to say, like, I like how you say, think on that, or, you want people to start to think, and to meditate on those things. And now go back to the scripture that you read, right? Read the rest of the content, read it,
Yeah.
So
morning manna should not be the only thing you've got for the day.
That's like saying that you had a saltine cracker for breakfast, and now you're good for the rest of the day, right?
I was going to say at least a piece of toast, but no. But you're right. You're right. You can't live on that. That it's good. It's good, but that's the difference. Honestly, that's the difference that I see with people that when we finally get it, they're hungry. They do want to know. They do want to understand. They are doing research. They are studying. But the majority of the religious world around us, just like that satire, kind of puts forward, it's about how easy can you make it? There should be no responsibility in it. And, just kind of live and let live. And, we're watching it. It's happening all around us. I had a whole bunch of different scriptures because I honestly think that what we are watching in our culture is directly connected to or related to the watering down of the Bible, of Christendom over time.
If you don't mind, could you just read, put up 2 Timothy then, chapter 3?
Oh, yeah. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and chapter 4. But, we got a second.
Just do the 1 through 9, I think, for the time we have left.
2 Timothy chapter 3. Yeah. Let me see if we put this up. Hopefully this won't freeze you out, but we'll see. If not, if it does, I'll read it. So here we go, guys. Just a thought for you guys for today. 1 through 9, right?
Yeah.
It says, but know this, that in the last days hard times shall come. For men shall be lovers of self, lovers of silver, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, thankless, wrongdoers, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, fierce haters of good, betrayers, reckless, puffed up, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of Elohim, having a form of reverence. And there it is. I mean, that's it right there. You could just say having a religion, having a form of reverence, but denying its power, and turn away from these. For among them are those who creep into households and captivate silly women loaded down with sins, led away by various lusts, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Oh my goodness, what a statement. That's a powerful statement right there. Just as Jonas and Mamre opposed Moses, so do these also oppose the truth. Men of corrupt minds, found worthless concerning the faith. But they shall not go on further, for their folly shall be obvious to all, and also that of those men became. And then
you can finish off 10 if you want.
Yeah. But you did closely follow my teaching, the way of life, the purpose, the belief, the faith, the patience, the love, the endurance, the persecutions, the sufferings, and which came to me in Antioch, Iconium, and Lystra, what persecutions I bore, yet out of them all the master delivered me. And you read the master delivered him. He suffered.
Mm-hmm.
Being delivered from suffering doesn't mean you don't suffer.
No, he goes through his whole rant, right? How he was stranded at sea. He was beaten several times, almost to death. I mean, come on, man.
What a yeah. That was a great text.
That's a good way to close that out, right?
That's a good way. That sort of sums up the Babylon Bee.
Mm-hmm.
Before there was a Babylon Bee.
That's right.
Paul,
there was always a Babylon.
There was always a Babylon. Now we just call it Babylon Bee. Always. That's good. I like that. That's good, brother. All right. Well, that's it for this morning, guys. I know a little bit different conversation, but just some craziness going on all around us. Mm-hmm. But you know what? And Saul does talk like this, but like he says at the end, but I think better things for you.
That's right.
You as the people who are hungry, who are looking, who are striving, and we've all come through that. I don't know what you want to call it. That avenue, that trail. We were all there. We've all understood. We've all experienced those things, and yet Father did love the world so much that He's leading and He's guiding us and pulling us closer and closer to Him. So,
if anything, that should let us have more compassion.
Yeah.
When we speak to some of these people.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm not beating up. I'm not trying to beat up these people. My heart breaks for them.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone doesn't know, whoever doesn't know, me and Pastor Eve are actually real, physical brothers. So we know what everyone struggles through with having, family members who aren't walking in truth and friends that we grew up with. And I mean, the experience, you were a pastor, for now, what was it, almost 40 years, 39, something like that?
32, 31 years, 32 years, something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, you can imagine all the people that you've had in congregations that I can imagine that go through your mind, wondering where they're at now, and so.
Yeah.
With that said, you usually give me the last word. Pray for those people. Just pray that Father opens their eyes and they have time to produce oil. But just it's sad. If anything, all these videos don't they get you kind of depressed? Not when you see what still goes on out there in churches and places. But just pray that Father would have compassion and people would come to truth. That's my desire, right? I mean, we want to see as many people follow truth as possible. And
the cool thing is, once you see it, once your eyes are open to it, man, you can pick it out instantly.
Yep.
You can't unsee it now, right? You can't. You notice it. You notice the compromise. You notice the falseness. You notice just all of it. It's so blaringly obvious when while we were in the midst of it, it wasn't.
Yep.
But Father is good.
And use that for our advantage, right? Like Paul knew the Torah. We know exactly what Christians think, what they believe, what they're going to say, what their argument really is. So, count that as an advantage of, when you speak to someone and you want to share truth. But with that, enjoy your Sabbath, everyone. And you have a good day, buddy. I haven't talked to you all week.
I know.
We went live. We didn't even have any prep time today.
No, it's been a busy week. It's a busy day for us today. We've got some fellowship going on here for Sabbath. So, I love you, brother.
I love you too, buddy.
Peace, bro.
All right. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys. We hope that you enjoyed that conversation. And don't forget to join us tomorrow morning. If you are watching, please hit that like button. We'd appreciate that. Make sure that you're subscribed both here and to all the other things that we do. Every time you watch a video, if you like it, hit that like button. Certainly, I see all the comments in the chat, but you can leave comments afterwards as well. Questions and stuff. We'll do our best to get back to you. But we'll see you tomorrow morning. We're going to continue with the story of Noah. Got some really interesting stuff to share with you guys that'll help us understand really what this story is about and what's going on all around us. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day out there. And please don't forget to keep the De Palma family in prayer today. Guys, Yah bless and Shabbat Shalom.